Goal 13, Climate Change, by Caroline Albright and Matteo Simon. Targets. The nations involved in fighting against climate change hope to stand up to and make adaptations to climate-related hazards and natural disasters in all countries. They want to include climate change measures into official documents and policies. Improving education and awareness about climate change is another goal of theirs. They hope to raise $100 billion annually by 2020 from all sources to address the needs of developing countries. It is also important for them to promote mechanisms for raising capacity for effective climate change-related planning and management in least developed countries and small islands.
The effects of climate change are disastrous. Extreme temperature changes are one of the most commonly known effects. Decreased water availability and other factors change soil conditions. Over time, plant growth will decrease, which will futurely harm humans as well.
When natural disaster strikes, the surrounding area is often destroyed. Whether it's a flood or heavy winds, damage is unavoidable. When repair is needed, national economies are disrupted. In the last 25 years, more than 1.6 million people died internationally because of natural disasters. That number continues to rise. The destruction of forests takes away habitats for animals because they lose natural shelter, food, and water. Not every animal is an herbivore, but without them, there's nothing to eat for the carnivores. This is a major issue for the food chain.
Weather patterns are starting to change drastically due to the rise in temperatures. This leads to extreme natural storms like hurricanes. These cause major destruction.
Rising temperatures are causing glaciers to melt. This causes sea levels to rise. Species that live in the water are affected negatively by this.
Now affecting every country on every continent in the world, climate change poses the biggest threat to development. Humans, animals, and environment are all at higher risk than ever before.
Things like plant growth would affect humans drastically. It is estimated that 3.4 billion people would end up living where their nation has losses up to one-third of plants' growing days. Many humans would lose their natural resources.
The greenhouse effect is the leading cause of climate change. Humans are solely to blame. The burning of fossil fuels, most often coal and oil, has severely increased the concentration of carbon dioxide trapped in the atmosphere. Over time, the greenhouse effect will warm oceans and melt glaciers and other ice masses, which will result in a significant rise in sea level.
There are many partners involved in helping climate change, such as large companies like Microsoft and Facebook. The nations involved created the Paris Agreement. It is an attempt to deal with and regulate the greenhouse gases and other gas emissions into the atmosphere, as well as adaptations that can be made and financial changes starting in 2020. One of the agreement's main focuses is to keep the temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius for this century.
At a recent climate protest, environmentalists are saying that the job market will be affected by the whole Going Green movement. They want to make sure that workers who are leaving the toxic industries are going to have jobs that are financially stable. The U.S. pulled out of the Paris Agreement because Trump said it was an agreement that disadvantages the United States to the exclusive benefit of other countries.
How can you help? The best way for you to make an impact is to reduce any type of idling that you may cause. By reducing your idling, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will be reduced. You can also donate money to the nations in the Paris Agreement that are trying to raise.
90% of private companies have agreed to make the switch to eco-friendly production. France, the UK, China, Ireland, Scotland, Israel, and Costa Rica all made announcements with plans to ban the selling of fossil-fueled powered vehicles. Over 20 countries made a commitment to phase out coal plants and establish and ban any new coal stations that don't have carbon capture technology and storage.